Speaker, he's an ostrich, perfectly happy keeping his head in the sand. Working people are worried about paying their bills. They're spending less and cutting back. That's bad for business and bad for growth. Working people are looking for help. But this week, millions will look at their payslip and see a tax rise with his fingerprints all over it. Does he think that his 15th tax rise has made things better or worse for working people?
Mr. Speaker, what we're doing for working people is not only lifting the living wage by the record amount, helping people on universal credit with a £1,000 tax cut, Mr. Speaker, but also cutting national insurance contributions, lifting the threshold so that on average people pay £330 less, Mr. Speaker. But what we're also doing is taking our country and our economy forward, investing in our NHS, which is a priority for the people of this country, unlike for the Labour Party, Mr. Speaker, but also ensuring that we have record creation of jobs, Mr. Speaker, and that is what matters. High-wage, high-skill jobs. 500,000 more. They don't care about jobs, Mr. Speaker. We do. We do. We believe in high-wage, high-skill jobs, and that's the answer for the economy.
Keir Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, it's as if he's only just waking up to the cost of living crisis. And his big idea, fewer MOTs. It actually makes the Combs hotline sound visionary and inspirational. North Sea oil producers are making so much unexpected profit, they call themselves a cash machine. That cash could be used to keep energy bills down. Instead, he chooses to protect their profits. Let household bills rocket and slap taxes on working people who are earning a living. Does he think that that choice has made things better or worse for working people?
What we're doing is making things better for working people than his plans would do by a mile, Mr. Speaker. We're raising more, we're putting more to support people with their energy costs than he would with his new tax on business. £9.1 billion that we're putting in, an immediate £150 cut in people's council tax. Their thing only raises £6.6 billion. And what it does is it clobbers the very businesses that we need to invest in energy to bring the prices down for people across this country. Clean, green energy, the wind farms, the hydrogen that this country needs. And what this government is also doing, Mr. Speaker, is reversing the tragic, historic mistake of the Labour Party in refusing to invest in nuclear. We're going to have a nuclear reactor every year and not a nuclear reactor every decade, which is what we got under Labour.
So they're the party of excess oil and gas profits, and we're the party of working people. This Tory government's had its head in the sand throughout the cost of living crisis. First, they let prices get out of control. Then they denied it was happening. They failed to do anything about it, and then they made it worse with higher taxes. Because of his choices, we are set to have the slowest growth and the highest inflation in the G7. Mr. Speaker, a vote for Labour next week is a vote for a very different set of choices. We would ask oil and gas companies to pay their fair share and reduce energy costs. We wouldn't hammer working people with the worst possible tax at the worst possible time. We'd insulate homes to get bills down. And we'd close the tax avoidance schemes that have helped his Chancellor, where is he, reduce his family's tax bill while putting everyone else's up. That's a proper plan for the economy. So why doesn't he get on with it and finally make choices that make things better, not worse, for working people?
Mr. Speaker, I can tell the right honourable gentleman, I listened to him over many weeks, so many years, this guy is doomed to be a permanent spectator, Mr. Speaker, because we have a plan to fix the NHS and fix social care. They have no plan. We have a plan to fix our borders with our deal with Rwanda. They have no plan. We have a plan to take our economy forward. They have no plan. Let me tell you something, Mr. Speaker. He talks about the elections. He talks about the elections in a few days' time, Mr. Speaker. Let me remind him that everywhere you look, a Labour administration, it is a bankrupt shambles. Hammersmith Council spent Labour-run Hammersmith spent £27,000 on EU flags, Mr. Speaker, 2 years after the referendum. Labour-run Nottingham Council bankrupt because of their investment in some communist energy plan of the kind that he now favours. He should apologise for it. Labour-run Croydon bankrupt, Mr. Speaker, because of their dodgy property deals. And never forget Labour-run Britain in 2010, bankrupt because of what the Labour government did. And they said they had no money left. Mr. Speaker, he looks at council tax. Look at the difference between he boasts he lives in Islington or Camden or somewhere like that. He should contrast neighbouring Westminster, which has the lowest council tax in the country, and better services too. That's the difference between Labour and Conservative across the country, Mr. Speaker. Vote Conservative on the 5th of May.